Hey, it's Talia.
And Karen here. We're two best friends telling our story without unnecessary entertainment. Just the straight truth.
No smoke, just mirrors. We talk reflection, relationships, and the rigor of knowing your truest self.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
And welcome to our first ever recorded episode 4.
Yes.
How are we feeling?
Pretty good. I used to be camera shy.
Good.
But
Well, it is what it is.
getting used to it.
I know. This is the first time for us. I'm excited. I love being on camera.
I'm excited. Yes, you do. I'm working on it. But I like getting out of my comfort zone. So why not?
Yeah. So why don't you tell us what today's episode is about?
Today, episode 4 is, are you really happy or just really comfortable?
Comfy or uncomfy?
LIB shout out.
Yeah. We've been watching a lot of Love is Blind, so just
Too
excuse. This is way too much. Anyway, today we want to hone in on what it means to be happy, but also what it means to be comfortable in a good and bad place. And the reason for this is we've been doing a lot of self-reflection, as you've heard from the previous episodes, but honestly, a lot of it is wanting to recognize who we are in different seasons in life, what that means for us, what it means for relationships, what it means for friendships, what it means for us specifically. So we're going to tap into a little bit of that. But essentially, how is that conducted, right? How do we know that we're ready when we're ready, right? Coming up, we'll actually talk about maybe the next episode, a little snippet, but we're going to toss one part of the coin today, and then the other part will be the next episode, which will have details to follow. I don't want to give too much away, but we're really excited.
We are.
So why don't you lead us with the mantra for the week?
We grow through what we go through.
Okay, so let's just backtrack. Just backtrack real quick. We, as always, our mantra is something that we want to enforce for the episode, something that we want to unpack, get it together, people, wherever you are, whoever you are, however old you are, it doesn't matter. As Talia so eloquently said, which we didn't even introduce ourselves.
We didn't.
Okay, scratch that. We're all messed up today. I'm Karen.
I'm Talia.
And we're the two besties behind this podcast.
No smoke, just mirrors.
That's right. No smoke. Don't gas us up. And we're just reflections of each other, given that we've been friends for so long, but also just in general, life partners. She's my bestie. You're just part of my family at this point.
Same.
There's no if, ands, or buts about it.
This is family status.
So what you'll hear about is honestly the raw truth of what we think of every topic, in its best form, most honest, and so forth. So the mantra of the week, getting back to normal programming, is we grow through what we go through. And I think this resonates so well with us because we often find ourselves in really high seasons where we're really happy and we're all about, self-awareness, self-health, positivity. And then we have like those lower moments where we're like, get me off this fucking couch. Like, you need to get out of this cave, these 4 walls. I need to, or just not, right? Leave me in here. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But the growing process actually happens, we think, in all facets, in all seasons, in all places, in all things. So that's what I got. What do you got?
I mean, that in a nutshell. It's pretty much cycles in life that you're just going to have to go through. Sometimes it's not easy to explain. Mm-hmm. You don't even know why you're going through it. I always catch myself at times like, why is this happening to me?
Totally.
And you can easily get depressed. You can easily be like, oh my God, maybe I should just give up. But maybe you just have to give up on people and probably an old mindset instead of life. And I think it's all about how you view things, which I come to find out
Self-perception.
A lot of self-perception and also self-awareness. That's something that
That's
think
been
a
a new
lot
one
of
for
people, including myself, had to struggle to understand that.
I think that's like your mantra of the year.
That is
just
my
be
mantra.
Self-aware. She says that
absolutely.
probably a couple of days every day, a couple of times every day.
When you're self-aware, you take accountability for yourself.
Totally.
And you have to. There are some things that you yourself have to correct when you know that something's wrong, or you just want to be better at. And sometimes you can easily see it in others.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And, you know, speaking of that, I kind of just want to tap into the very beginning, which I think is figuring out what kind of season or mindset you are in now. So why don't you kick us off? Who's the Talia today, or in this like last month? She's just been through a whole transformation, so that will be in its own subtopic. But who's the Talia that we have today?
the season that I'm at right now, it's tea season. Pretty much me season. I'm
Amen.
just, it's been one hell of a year, and it's been a lot of ups and downs, but thankfully a lot of highs. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I had to go through and understand myself. But like one thing I've always had in the back of my mind, because I've been told this a lot by others, is that you have to see yourself as a flower. In order for you to bloom, you need to water yourself.
Amen.
And that's the only way. It's funny because I've been told that like almost all my life from my parents, from like family members and stuff like that. But when you're young, you don't want to listen to anybody.
What flower?
You think right. You think you know everything. You think you got to figure it out. Not at all. Mm-hmm. Life humbles you, and it's all good. Sometimes it would freaking frustrate me. Mm-hmm. But I have to just understand that these are times that I have to be humble and also grateful for the season I'm at. Again, you don't understand until very down the line. And this is something that I myself had to like come in realization. Mm-hmm. And a lot of acceptance in everything. So the season I'm in is just pretty much getting to know myself more. I always feel like my entire life I had a vision of myself of just pleasing others. Mm-hmm. And trying to be a version that everybody thought I should be. And taking that role. But I never really asked myself what I want. And that's where I'm at right now. So this is my season of just keeping myself occupied.
Swipe. No. Her guilty pleasures.
Yeah, with TikTok. Yeah. But other than that, that's why I consider myself my season, tea season, because it's really just getting to know what I really want in my life at this point.
And what does that look like on a day-to-day? What is being in tea season like?
Tea season is really just understanding what I want to better myself. I want to be better than yesterday. And I've said this a couple of episodes already.
Every day.
Pretty much. I want to be better than yesterday. And I think right now, one thing I'm struggling that I want to be better at is discipline. Mm-hmm. I think discipline right now for me is big. It's something my father would constantly always tell me, but I would always brush off like, Daddy, okay, got it. But no. It's funny, I had a conversation with my dad today. And he was just like, finally, you fucking got it. And
it only took
however
many years.
3 decades. But it was for me to really, and I even told him, like, I'm sorry for not listening to you. Mm-hmm. I had to pretty much sit there and be like, yeah, I know you like drilled this shit in my head when I was young, and I never took it into consideration.
And you never took ownership of it.
Absolutely
and
not.
And that's like, truth be told, that's A-okay, because you won't know until you get to that realization that you should have taken ownership of that a long time ago. But yeah, I'm just going to say that.
It's just, and I apologized to him. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, well, first lesson is that you realize, but the second lesson is to apologize to yourself. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And ever since I've taken ownership and understanding that, and I've been really putting the work. Mm-hmm. And I've been very, very happy with myself, and just knowing that I'm always better than yesterday. And that's kind of, to me, my mini goals, my mini accomplishments that I'm myself proud of.
Can you give me like maybe a 3 itemized list of what being in tea season is? Because I know tea season is self-awareness, but I don't know the nuts and bolts. Give me like, does it mean doing a specific task every day? Does it mean making sure that you have like a vision board? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you?
I gotta say, how I started this journey this past couple of years, it's pretty much I would write down some affirmations and I would make sure I read it every morning.
Amen.
And that was just in the beginning when you just have a pessimist mind and you're just thinking, the negative, and you're just like, I don't like this, I don't like that. I've really had to work on changing my mindset. And one step that I even saw, like I think on a to-do list, on a checklist that I saw on TikTok, was just like write down what you want to be. What do you want to become? And that's exactly what was my first step. So I literally went to work.
TikTok. We live in the
in
the new age. Call it what it is.
But that's exactly what I did. I took my lunch hour and I wrote down everything and I put it in my wall. And I even wrote tea season goals. And then I just wrote it down, and every morning I would make sure, because sometimes I was like, that's a long ass list to say, but no, I would make myself say it every morning. And now, so slowly but surely, that changed my mindset to thinking more positive. And now everything before used to piss me off. I mean, people in general, not for nothing, but I would be very sensitive to things. But now, with just that mind shift and understanding that I'm not really anybody's problem, and things shouldn't affect me. Like, they're not even part of my story. That it's been very easy just to, like a balloon out in the sky. It's very easy to let go. And now I have become more like, all right, it's all good. I'm all right with that. I'm not, like, hone in on it or just be, like,
stressed.
The fuck is this person's problem? But now it's just like, you're unhealed bitch, bye. So the
cancel season.
It's canceling, and let me tell you, it's been working.
It's like the best thing that ever happened.
It really is. And just doing those small changes, and even waking up and trying to become a morning person. I mean, if there's anybody that can make a great excuse to not get up in the morning, it's right over here. But
this is very true.
I
3
wanted
decades
to focus.
Of knowing that.
I wanted to focus on discipline, so I've been making sure I wake up 5:30 in the morning to go work out and just get my mind right in the beginning, and it has done wonders. Those little changes, and of course there's a little bit more, but those 3 steps changes is what really got me where I'm at today. I mean, how do you view me? You've seen me in
a lot to unpack. Talia often goes through longer seasons. Like, she doesn't necessarily get over things quite quickly. And there's a lot of dwindling that happens. I think it's healthy that you dwindle, right? That you think about what you're doing, how you're doing. You like to think about a specific process. And I do that too, but I do that every single day of my life. I know exactly what I'm going to do, how this is going to make me feel, how this is going to make the other person feel. Everything is programmed. And I think for the first time, you are starting to build a process that works for you every day and that honors what you want to honor every day. Like, it doesn't just work, it's intentional. Right. So, and that, I mean, even just this past month, I mean, she's gone through a very difficult year last year, but I think within that time frame, you've really come to appreciate who you are, appreciate your flaws, own your flaws, and turn your flaws into something that you can make positive. And not even positive, I think just meaningful. Because meaningful doesn't always mean happy, positive, great. Meaningful just means you're making a change for something that you think is going to better who you are, right? And I think that for you, it's been as easy as doing something alone. Like buying yourself flowers. She was in like some time where she was buying herself flowers from Trader Joe's. Whatever. Like, it's your own affirmation to, I want flowers. I want to see flowers somewhere in my house. Ergo, I'm going to buy flowers. And I'm going to do it with pride, with joy, with great intentions, and they're going to last forever. Right? one of the other things that I've seen you really do is being able to extract your ideas in process to make it logical sense, as opposed to being so impulsive and say, it's your fault that I'm this. It's your, and we spoke about this in episode 1 where she was identifying how her triggers have pointed her to this direction in life. But I think the current season is really about you embracing who you are in its full form, you turning your flaws into something meaningful. And I think you just doing whatever you want with no hesitation.
Yeah.
It's new and it's hard. It's not easy to do. But doing whatever you want without limitations, in that if I want to get up at 10 a.m. and if I don't want to go to work today, guess what? I'm not going to go to work. Thankfully, she has a flexible job. So yes, that helps. But that intentionality is something that not everyone has and not anyone can have, right? So for me, I've seen you change in how you make choices. Like, that has been probably the most remarkable thing I've seen change. How your decision making has changed to something better. 1. 2, I think you are self-disciplined. I think you go through waves like everyone else. Like, you're good 1 month. Oh my God, yes, I'm pumped. I'm going to work out. I'm feeling great. And then the next month or something triggers you and you're like, I'm fucking sad. And that's fine. And allowing that space and giving yourself grace, I think, is what you've been so graciously doing. Like, I love it. I love that I love that when you're sad, you acknowledge that you're sad. I love that when someone pisses you off, you acknowledge that feeling. I love that you actually are able to take those feelings and articulate how you will translate that in the next couple of weeks, right? So, for instance, you just kind of went through some bullshit, let's just say it that way. And then you're like, you know what? Fine, whatever. You don't want to do this? No problem. Move on, because I have other friends to be around. You know, like that kind of self-affirming, opening, revolving door, if you will, is something that you didn't know how to do for a while.
Not at all.
No. And so it's not even the canceling culture. I think it's in general wanting to make an intentional move to just flip the page. The next one will write itself again. There's more than 1,000 pages in your book at this point, your life book. And guess what? The last page was written already, so move on to the next one. That has been my perspective. And I think it's just made you much happier.
It's amazing how you just lights my ass.
Toot.
No, but you've seen me in all my seasons.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. This is the one person that I can say, obviously besides my family, but you're the only person personally that has seen me
in the day-to-day.
In the day-to-day and of all the seasons I've been through. And you saw how this year has been very changing for me. So it's really, and just saying those things, I even caught myself saying, get out of here. For real. But it's good to hear, because sometimes you don't see that when you're in the moment. You don't see that when you're focused, and you're just proud of yourself. You're just like, all right, good, I got up at 5. Pat yourself on the back. But you don't see that everybody else is seeing those changes. And I have noticed that throughout, which then just even brought us to where we are today.
Yeah.
In this progress of a podcast. It's because sometimes you don't even aware that you're making those beautiful changes, that you start attracting a lot of people around you once you start moving with love. And opportunities.
Yeah, that's so true.
That, like, sometimes when you be hearing those things online or something like that, like, oh, change how you vision and things will come. It works.
We're here with mics and lighting and a camera and an executive producer who's amazing.
I remember I was on your ass.
Oh my God. We should talk about that for a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it was just.
Yeah. This whole idea came about from your mind. That's all I'm going to say. I take no ownership or no credit. I'm also really lazy. That's just. My husband will tell you. My friends will tell. I'm the most laziest person. And here we are. Yeah.
And I just
doing this every week.
And I'm so proud of us that and think about your own changes.
Yeah.
This was something that I had to be on your ass about.
literally
because
on.
for some reason I was just like, no, let's just do it. Why not? And I have to say, like, I instantly knew who I wanted to do it with, because again, she's my mirror.
Yeah,
she's my mirror. And there's sometimes that there's some things you can't even say out loud to yourself.
Yeah,
but
totally.
you would always hear me out, and of course I would always hear you out. And of course we're going to talk about this in other episodes, because this is my core, this is my pillar, and I'll get to that in the next season. In the next season,
yeah, the next season will be about friendships,
absolutely, and relationships and stuff like that. But
yeah,
it's just, you're the best mirror I've had, and
shining bright. I'm shining bright.
I knew exactly who to do this with.
You put Windex and it shined.
Yes, it does. Polish that bitch.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, right? I don't know. I feel like you've done massive changes that are so obvious and also not obvious. Mm-hmm. I happen to be able to see both because we talk every day, all day, or like we check in. To the people who don't necessarily talk to you, they may not see the smaller changes, like just not blowing up on somebody or just not dwelling on a specific somebody or something, you know, and they see the longevity or the longer period of this progress. But I see you every day, or I see you every day. I see you like maybe twice or three times a week.
Yes.
Yeah, she's here. So whatever, it is what it is. But we talk every day, we text all day, and it's that like check-in, hey, how are you? Good, great, I'll see you later. Or we'll catch each other on the train ride home, or we'll talk in the evening when we're both having dinner. Like, a lot of it is just an open door of communication that has really allowed us to just talk and debrief about the day. That's like our word this year, debrief.
Yeah.
We debrief about everything.
Get it out of your system.
Yeah, just get it out.
Get it out of your system.
It helps so much to like manifest our own feelings and then just move on. Honestly.
It's been refreshing. And the fact that we have someone to go to and trust our vulnerability with somebody is major. Because again, I'm pretty much like a vault. Well, clearly not anymore with the podcast. But that's how it's always been. Yeah. Putting my heart in a silver platter and handing it to you was a no-no. But I can only do it with her. And she has taken care of it. And vice versa.
I'm a great housekeeper.
You're good at mopping.
No,
but things like that is what really made this friendship every bit worthwhile.
I get that. So why don't you give me an example of some time that you were in an off season? Like
in an off season.
It can be like a specific incident that happened, or it can be like an actual period of time where you just felt it was not your peak.
Oh, I know the exact year. Personally, for me, it was 2019. That has to be one of my worst years.
Oh my God, yes.
It's one of the worst years. I had a lot of family death, major ones, very intimate. And it comes to a point that for me, I think, and so far sometimes it took me many years after to understand this period. I felt like I had a smooth sailing until that year.
Yeah.
That everything kind of crumbled like feta and just crumbled. And I didn't know one thing how to deal with is grief. I didn't know how to deal with it. And I just know that it was very intimate family members that unfortunately passed away, and I don't know what to do. I hate being at work. I hate being sad at home. So what are you doing? You were stuck in the streets, and you had to find your own exit, and I never understood it. It's one of the periods that I sometimes just be like, what does this season mean? And I caught myself many times just asking those questions and not knowing where to go.
Like, why am I here? Why are you putting me in this specific scene or
I was
in this specific like period of time? What am I meant to be doing here?
Because sometimes you feel like you have to be strong for others because you see everybody else crumbling, and you're like, well, somebody needs to keep this house afloat. So I gotta be the second leg right now of pretty much a broken table. And I didn't know how to handle that. But the problem is that, and this is why I meant of saying that I'm tired of being the version that everyone wants me to be, is because I made sure everybody else was good. I had to make sure, you know, my family was good, my job was good. Like, I had to make sure those were aligned, but I completely forgot about myself. I didn't check if I was good. And that's something that way down the line, I realized years after that I was like, I completely forgot myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't know
happened to me?
Yeah, what happened to me? I completely didn't check. I didn't know how to result in grief. I was always angry. It was a very, very horrible time. And that lasted for like a good year and a half. And then COVID happened. And then I gotta say, I understand it was in a world of pandemic and it was really bad. Personally, for me, it took time for me to separate from all family members. And I was literally isolated. And that is where I slowly started understanding the journey of being alone. And that's when I started asking myself, how are you feeling? How are you?
Are you good?
Are you good?
Yeah.
I have no one else around me because we're all isolated. And it was the first time, personally for me, even though the world is going up in storm, but for me, it was the time that I was so comfortable being alone. And I took care of myself for the first time. And that's exactly what I needed. And that's when I started to learn. I was like, wow, I don't know how to process grief. I don't know how to process this. I don't know how to process that. And it's all about how you handle things.
Yeah.
And so 2019 was a very off season. It was a lot of growing pains. But I got to say, when you don't really have a lot of people around you, and that's the time I actually didn't have Karen as a friend at that point. And that was one of the years.
We were in a unit.
We were in a unit at that point. We took a break from each other. And I really felt lost. And that's how I kind of knew that I didn't have that voice of reason at times.
Me.
Sure, yes.
Listen, if no one's going to hype me up, I will. Me.
No, but it's true. It's true. I feel like I didn't really have a person at that moment in that really bad off season of life to kind of instantly align me. And I guess that was kind of the missing thing because I was pretty much like going everywhere trying to find peace, and I was reaching so many dead ends.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty much, I have to say, one of the biggest off seasons for me. How about yourself?
There's been a lot. Sorry, I just gasped or sighed on my own. There's been a lot. I think for me, it's been hard to find my good seasons because I just think I'm always in a bad season. I've always thought this way. I think I don't necessarily have good seasons. I have good periods. Like, I'm good for like a few weeks and then I'm all messed up. And the messed up part or the off-peak part will carry on. It'll drag for like months. And I don't get over something. And it can be something, it can be someone, it can be a specific relationship, it can be something that just triggered me, and I will carry it for like months. I think, am like a force field where I don't tell people, not even you, how I feel about things. Now I do, but before I didn't.
It's like pulling teeth.
Yeah. Not necessarily because I didn't want anyone to know, but really because I just thought I could figure it out and I didn't think I needed help, which is also something that we always talk about. But a specific off-peak season was probably last year. Last year I was at an all-time low in that I found myself in shackles probably the whole year. I don't think there was ever a time where I was like, woo! No, I didn't feel good at all. I also was heavily stressed. I was also going through relationship differences with friends, with people who I'm very near and dear to me. And it was a really big struggle to manage and balance what I felt to what others would tell me, to what I think I should be. It was all just like a conundrum of what the fuck, honestly. And I'd say that's probably at an all-time one of my lowest times. It was not a good time. I didn't think good of myself. I was fine in that I could do daily tasks. Like, it didn't impede me from doing what I needed to do on a daily basis. It just morally and like emotionally, I was not here. And I'm sure you probably could speak to that, but I was not here. I was here in the flesh, but I wasn't.
I know there were times that I remember, like, during that time, I was like, you need to be, we got to be happy. This is a happy moment. Mm-hmm. I remember catching myself saying that a lot to you.
Yeah, you did.
And I was just like, listen, just understand that this is a great moment. I want you to enjoy every moment because, as you know, things go by at a flash. I don't want you to ever not remember or enjoy this beautiful period of time.
Mm-hmm. It was a great time. And I think I enjoyed part of it. I didn't enjoy all of it.
I know.
And people are fucked up.
Absolutely. And it's very hard to watch that because you're just like, I want her to just embrace every moment. Mm-hmm. And I know there was a lot of things that were running heavy on your mind. And
I was like, mind fucked for like,
yeah, you were,
a whole year and a half.
And I didn't know how to get her out of it. Mm-hmm. It was something that at that moment for myself that I was just like, I'm going to be right here. I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure what I can do at this point for her. Mm-hmm. But all I know is that I'm going to sit right here in the mud until we figure it out.
Like, I'll wait for you.
That's all right. I'll be here. I'll sit here.
It was that was really helpful, honestly. Yeah. I don't need anybody to like fix. I've always been I fix my own problems, which is also not good.
Okay.
It's good.
Bounty.
Yeah.
Like
the quicker picker upper.
Yeah, okay. Okay. No, absolutely not.
I'm mad you just compared me to paper and towel.
Fucking picker upper. No, I get you on
I'm a Swiffer. I pick up all the dust.
No, exactly. It's okay. I know you want to solve your own problems, but
I do. I'm a very big problem solver. I think by nature.
You are.
And so I tend to feel like I don't need any help. And it's not because I don't trust people. I think I trust a lot of people, and that's my biggest flaw. But I think I just dispose of like so much confidence in others, and it's bit me in the ass numerous times. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, and we all have our off seasons. I think I'm better. I don't think I'm fully over the moon. I think I'm just way better, and part of that has been opening up to what I feel, how I feel. Like having you listen to me has been like a world of a change, honestly. Because I talk to myself, as weird as that sounds.
Same.
I talk to myself and just say, you know what? You're going to get through this shit. Get over it. Hold it in. Move on. Get over it. Hold it in. Move on. Hold it in for an hour. You're good to go. And that drove me nowhere. It drove me to not sleeping, having insomnia at some point. I wasn't sleeping for quite some time. I was restless, and that's not me. I didn't like to do anything. I didn't want to do anything. And again, that's not me. I just didn't really find positivity in anything. It got to that point. So what Talia and our bestie Steph were doing were just being like, hey, I miss you. How are you? And I didn't go off and say, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. Absolutely not. I think what I just did was, I'm like, I'm good.
That would piss me off so much.
Because it's not me, right? So they knew that something was wrong, but there is a self-respect and a respect in our space as friends that don't necessarily feel like they're intruding, but rather just give me grace.
Correct.
And just say, hey, I'm here when you're ready. Whenever you're ready
That's
to pick it up, I'm picking it up with you. I'm not picking it up before you or after you. I'm picking it up with you. And we're good. So a lot of that has helped, as well as self-affirming that I'm going to be fine. Like, that's the one thing that if I do something, it will be fine. I've always felt held back by what kind of consequences my actions will have. And that has deprived me from being who I am, really. And I think for the first time, I just started not giving a shit.
Finally.
Yeah. It's been very revolutionizing, but also it's caused me a lot of trouble thus far. But it's something that I found useful and helpful for myself, but also for the people around me. And it's a process. I don't think it's settled yet. I don't think I have finished business. I think it's never fully finished. And it never will be, because I've just been sort of tagged as being so fucking dependable. Like, it's my one virtue and it's my burden. Honestly,
That's true.
That's the only way I know how to put it. But yeah, like, we all have our off seasons in different ways. I was going through a very happy moment that turned into a lot of drama and a lot of circumstantial shit that shouldn't have been blown out of proportion, but it was because of the sensitivity around commentary and the sensitivity around not necessarily communicating feelings. Like, it was a whole bunch. And for better or for worse, I knew that when it was go time, I was going to do and live through a happy moment. No questions asked, whether anyone liked it or not, whether you're there or not. I just don't give a shit. I'm going to live through this moment and it's going to be great. And whoever wants to be there will be there. And if not, just fucking leave. That was, like, honestly the first step of me saying, I'm going to let go. Just leave. I could never do that in any of my past years.
Absolutely not.
No. I, like, leech on to people in all the best ways. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm toxic or anything, but I leech on to people for the good of them. I honestly do see a lot of good in different people, even though besties like Talia tell me to watch the fuck out, and I don't. That's the honest truth. I don't. I trust a lot of people, and I shouldn't. And that's also been a learning process. But
you're doing the work.
The season that I'm in now just honestly is about realizing that it's okay to say no, that it's okay to put boundaries, and that it's okay to not get into an argument or not feel bad that I'm in an argument. It's like the one thing that I used to hate is being in an argument, and would pride myself in being non-confrontational, but it didn't really get me anywhere.
I know.
Yeah. It didn't solve the issue.
It's like I always say, it's horrible. It's putting dirt under a rug. Shit piles up.
Yeah.
But I also feel like you're also in a season to put yourself first.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if I'm fully there yet.
No. You're not fully there, but you're working on it.
Putting these boundaries and putting these sort of pauses on certain things have really helped me to start making myself a priority. That, I think, is one of the most positive outcomes of what this season has been for me, for sure.
It's been good to see you blossom.
We always joke that I'm Blossom and you are a combination of
Bubbles and Buttercup.
You know the Powerpuff Girls. That's who we are.
I really am.
No, you really are Bubbles. Bubbles at the forefront. Bubbles is in the exterior. Buttercup is the exterior.
For sure.
Don't fuck with me. I'm going to punch you in the face, but love me and care for me and cuddle me. I want to be the spoon. I want to be the little spoon.
I do.
Someone big spoon me is what I hear.
I'm for it. But I just enjoy it. But it's just overall, I think this is why this is such personally for me a great unit. It's because you're one way and I embrace a lot of things the way you are. And I try. I do try.
You try.
I try.
You try.
But again, I pretty much became the person I am the same way you became the person you are through all the experience that we had to go through. And we grew through because that's what happens.
Yeah. So in these like off seasons, have you ever felt just like comfortable? And I guess maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be in off seasons, but in general, has there been a season where you felt, I'm good right now, I don't need to do more, or I'm comfortable?
I have to say, before, when I was younger, I felt like I was too comfortable with how things were running without any of my say. And
like you were just letting things happen.
I was just letting things just go. I was going with the flow. You know, I would follow orders. I would just do what I had to do. Just pretty much continue the routine life and not do anything about it or try to improve something. I'll get comfortable in a job for like 4 years and just stay there. And there was always moments in life like, no, get out of there. No, get out of there. And I'm just like, but I'm comfortable. Leave me alone. I'm all right. And this is sometimes that, you know, of course, some people along the line that has helped me get out of that comfortability is by giving me a challenge. Realizing that I wasn't being treated the way I was expecting to be treated. I would just take it for some fucking reason.
Just
the way I would just, and you know, jobs in the past would just overwork me. I would be at the office till midnight, and
I remember that.
Yeah, and they would question me on it. Like I just remember, like they would never appreciate anything I would like go above and beyond for, and it would be something that I'm just like, wow. I can't believe I stayed for that long. I didn't realize a lot of things, and I feel like I had to just take it. But the older I get and the things I go through have...
Just to preface, you're not old yet. It's okay.
Hearts everywhere. But there's times that I'm just like, wow. I have to say this past year has been one hell of a season for me. It actually...
It took you out of your comfortability.
Absolutely.
For the good and the bad.
For the good and the bad.
Yeah,
but I feel like a sadness that pretty much had to change my mindset into something better. And I gotta thank myself because even though I was very uncomfortable what was going on with me, I'm glad I was uncomfortable because it allowed me to change things. And I can't say that I'm comfortable now. I feel more ambitious more than ever now. I feel like this is great. I'm glad I accomplished this. What are we going to do different tomorrow? Maybe I want to attack this today. Maybe I want to attack that type of workout. Maybe I want to attack that. And every day I find myself trying to do something a little bit different just to see how I feel, just to go with the flow. One thing I've noticed myself, I don't like a routine life. Which is why I change it up.
Yeah.
I change it up all the time.
You're so spontaneous.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm down for anything. Like I'm just
routine is my middle name.
She loves routine. I just find like since I was younger, routine, I always looked at it as a negative. And not to say like, you know, for yourself, but I just found, for me, I just find it a little bit like you're just doing the same thing. There's nothing different. And nowadays I'm embracing change. I'm embracing everything. Like for God's sake, I'm doing ClassPass because I can't be in the gym every single day. I like changing up with different type of studios.
But if you notice, the undertone of that is you are creating a routine for yourself.
I can't. Such a devil's advocate. I can't with
because
your
I
ass.
serve the Lord and his adversary.
You do.
I am...
But it's different.
The epitome of a devil's advocate. Not because I want to bring the dark side, but in this pursuit of you wanting to diversify your week or your on-peak season, you're starting to build a routine that works in this positive space. Like, going to class every day, even if she misses it, she's just like, fuck, I missed it. I got to get out of here.
That shit pisses me.
If I miss morning class, I'm booking a PM class. I'm going after work, or I'm ending work early. I'm working my ass off for the next 7 hours. And after that, I'm going to class, and I'm walking there. I'm not taking the train. I'm not taking an Uber. I'm walking my ass there. So a lot of that means, yes, you live a spontaneous life because you love to travel, because you love to feel like you're doing new things for yourself, and that's what keeps you inspired and motivated to do everything the next day. But in that next day pursuit, you're doing the same thing all over again. It may be different tasks.
Maybe different, yeah.
But you're building the same routine, right? Like you're going to class in the mornings. You're becoming a morning person. You go to class, then you go get your croissant or your coffee. Then you go home, and you hang out with your pup. And then Shiloh, love you. You're hanging out with your pup. Then you're going out for an afternoon walk. Then you're going to go get empanadas. And then one day you're going to go to a PM class because you felt really hype that day. Like all of that creates a routine that works for you, at least for some segment of that day.
True. I guess
like mornings is it for you right now. You're thriving in the mornings.
It's my cup of coffee. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
The workout is my cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is? I think of routine life as just like same shit, different day. As opposed to me, the reason I like ClassPass, not that we're getting sponsored. You can though, but
ClassPass, hook it up.
It's because I just like trying different routines. I can't do the same routine I guess I see routine that way. Like I can't.
You see the gym as very routine focused,
right? I can't just like
it could be
treadmill for 30 minutes, stepping for 10, and then I don't know weights for another 30, and then like go home. Yeah. I can't do that on the daily. I just like one day has to be cycling, the next day has to be like
climbing,
rowing. Then it's the third day is rowing. Climbing.
Your biceps were on one.
Oh my god! I couldn't even hold the bag. Shit. And the fourth day is yoga, and then the fifth day is, I don't know, Pilates. Like and it'll be different every week because I'll just love to change it up. I like to try new things, like the trampoline class. Kick my ass. But
your thighs were worked out. Yeah.
That shit was hurtful.
But like I said, in that pursuit, you're building a routine or some sort of schedule that helps you manifest that spontaneity. And I think for a long time, you weren't able to do that because you didn't feel like you could, and also because you didn't know that was possible. Like it was a genuine, I don't know what I could do for myself. But then you started finding out, you're like, you know what? You're right. And you know who introduced you to ClassPass?
You did.
My motherfucking self.
You did, actually.
Because I used to do ClassPass a while ago.
And I was like, what is this?
And I'm like, you should get it. It's totally great. I think it's amazing. You get to try all these things. And then I'm not on it now, but she is. And that's how this cookie crumbles, right? So it's okay. It's okay to be able to navigate that and manifest those kind of new pathways to building a better and more healthy routine. Routine isn't always negative. I'm queen routine. But I think it also allows me to have time for different things. So I don't see routine as something negative. I actually see it as something quite positive because I already know the schedule of my day. So I know that in this time I can sneak in a 30 to an hour minute phone call, or I'll schedule a 4-hour phone call with Talia, and then I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm at Costco, I'm at the supermarket, I'm also running errands for my mom or doing something else. Like I do 1,000,001 things all day long. It's disgusting. Borderline disgusting. But I'm also a really good multitasker. So I can do, I can, work, cook, clean at the same time. Just work, we're not going to cross that boundary. But it helps me book in some of these more spontaneous things, like go and pick up Pabs at work, or bring him lunch, or I don't know, just like going out or getting the car washed. Like it's small things like that's my spontaneity from the normal lifestyle of going to work, coming home, cooking, picking up, and then going to bed or relaxing.
But I'm going to have to go a little bit I'll have to play devil's advocate. Okay?
You do play devil's advocate.
I hear a lot for everyone else, but not for you.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, that's one thing personally for me. And like, I know you and we're currently in different chapters in our lives.
Yeah.
I understand it. You're married and I'm a single gal in the NYC. And again, I have a lot of time for myself, and just for like, as well as family time that I also have to put in priority, I guess.
Schedule in. Mm-hmm.
Schedule them in. And I think part of this, the reason I feel happy instead of just comfortable, is that I'm targeting my needs.
Yeah.
And that is something personally I always want you to target. Because again, just same way you say, you're a multitasker. You do everything and everything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing you're also not good at is asking for help.
Yeah. And so I'm going to just flip that around and say...
Flip it.
I am most... How can I put this? I am most my truest self when I'm giving service to others. And don't take that the wrong way.
That's your love language.
Yeah. So if I can do things for my house, I know that these things are for my house and I love it. If I cook my husband the food that he likes and that we now like together because we do a lot more of his culture, I love it. It's something that brings me joy. I do enjoy doing things like cooking. Like I genuinely enjoy it. Enjoy it. I love, that's like my off the clock space where I come home. I don't even, I tell you this all the time, I don't even change. Like I come home and I just go straight to my kitchen. One, because it's right there, right at the entrance. But two, because it's just my space to like decompress. I got to dice different veggies. I got to prepare my food. And then once that's done, I'm already waiting, to change into my PJs or, watch a YouTube video while I'm cooking. Like it's my time to decompress. Now, I do thrive on like being dependable on others. Again, the blessing and the burden. This is a connection. I do thrive on doing things for others and I enjoy it. I really do. I don't know if that's bad, but I really do. I like figuring things out with people, specifically Tal. She's like, what the fuck? Like this thing happened. I'm like, all right, well, why don't you look at it this way? Like it's the problem solving aspect of me, or at least like the critical thinker to bring the logic part of who I am as a Cap to your Aries fiery ways. So, a lot of it is me trying to figure out what I like to do, but I like to do those things, surprisingly. Mm-hmm. Partly. The other part of me is like, going to get my hair done, right? Going to get my hair done, or going out to meet Tal for something, or going to our friend Steph's house. Like it doesn't happen often, but it happens at the time that I need it to happen. So I do book that in and I avidly look for it. Like that's one thing that even if it's doing something like this, like the pod is something new.
Yes.
This... And we'll just say this outright, or I'll say it outright. This was totally Talia's idea. I'm not going to ever take any credit for it. She was busting my ass for maybe about a good year. This happened like last year. A good year.
Yeah.
I had this vision. I had this. I had that. I want you to do this with me. We're here. And so then my time of the week or my alone time is planning for each episode. I'm the planner. I set the whole thing up, and then we brainstorm together. Yes. So a lot of it is me bringing in my skills to this partnership that has now been beyond just friendship. It's now a partnership that could potentially be like a business womanship, right?
Yeah, it's exciting.
So, and we've brought Pabs in. Pablo is my husband and also our exec producer, our cocktail maker, our mic handler, director, cuer, whatever.
Everything.
He's everything. He's the real boss out here.
It's just great having him on board.
And he has his own skills of like videography, lighting. Apparently, we just learned something. We're like, yeah, this light is fine. He's like, no, absolutely not. Like, so we all bring each other's skills to the table, but that's my happy time. Being able to do something else like this on a Sunday evening or on a Friday night with cocktails sometimes. Today we're having water because tomorrow's Monday. But Having cocktails sometimes, just hanging out, listening to music. Like the other night, we were here blasting 2000 hits,
Raps, yeah,
hip hop, rap, rock, baladas. Like we were doing one and all things. We were having a concert fest. And those kind of things allow us or allow me to feel much freer in doing what I want to do. So that's like my happy time. Sometimes it's running an errand for myself, like going to get Starbucks, going to get a Frappuccino, or just even going to the supermarket. Because as lame as this sounds, I thoroughly enjoy doing it. I love... This sounds so lame, but I'm just gonna say it. I love doing shopping. Yeah, I love doing errands. Like I love going out, getting into my car, blasting my music, my bachata, my merengue, my really romantic baladas. I also really do enjoy like top hits. Water is my favorite right now. Yeah, that's my shit. So really I really enjoy doing things alone, surprisingly, because I love doing these things alone, and that's my me time. Yes, it's the fine line between doing something for my house and doing something for me, but it also allows me to be by myself in my own space and not worried about my partner or not worried about I have to get home at this hour. Like sometimes I work in the evening, so I take advantage during the day. Sometimes I go out for coffee during my work day. Those are the pockets of me and friendship time that I endure in that space. Because other than that, I live with my husband. So we just do everything together for the most part.
It makes sense.
And lately I've been reconnecting with other people like family and other friends. So
which is great. That's needed.
It's an all-time new, and it's fine. Yes. But I think it's a process that has slowly started coming about. And I wouldn't say I'm taking myself off of the priority list. I just think my priority is different than your type of priority.
Yeah, for sure.
Your priority is I'm going to doing this for me. Like it's tea season, tea money, first and foremost, second, third, fourth, fifth. My priority list is really, what else do I have to do? It could involve people. It could not. It could be for me. It could not. And sometimes I need people to pull me out of here. Like I love my house. I love my life. That I definitely do love. And I need like people to pull me out to get my eyebrows done. Or to like, sometimes I pick you up from the nail place. Like it's all these things that I'm like, woo, yeah, I'm available. I could pick you up. And it's like, are you sure? Mm-hmm. I could pick you up. So I take myself out of my routine and I'm like, yeah, I'm available. Let me go help you out. And it's my act of doing something that I want to do as opposed to doing something that involves accountability for my house or something, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
When you explain it to
so come
something,
correct.
Yes.
Is what I'm saying.
Hostility. But no, it makes sense. It makes sense. Again, everyone has different love languages. And I could understand that.
Totally.
So that completely makes sense. Again, different lifestyle, but also different needs.
Yeah.
And that's definitely why I guess opposite attracts.
Yeah. Totally.
Hi.